Hello class, this is Professor Christine Messier and I wanted to welcome you to Business 150. It's the Human Relations course that starts on October 15th here at Miramar College on the online version. So what I want to do with this presentation is kind of give you an overview of what the expectations are for the course and really set yourself up to do really well in the course based on those expectations. So I want to go through a few things with you. Now, to begin with, this is not a human resource class. We're not dealing with how to hire employees, how to train, how to provide benefits. This is more human relations, and it's a really great course because it deals with you and your leadership style and either the current leadership style you use or one that you want to aspire to, how to deal with organizational change that happens within a company, and really being more self-aware of your communication style and the style of other people so that you can blend really well and work well with your colleagues. So I'm really excited about sharing this content with you. Hopefully you've already ordered your textbook or at least your access code so that you can get everything online. So I want to go through a few of the things that will happen during this course. First thing I want to say is hang in there. I know that consolidating a 16-week course into 8 weeks can be a little rough, but because it's a 3-credit course, whether it's 8 weeks or 16 weeks, we do have to cover almost all of the content that you would in 16 weeks. So this is not a shortened version, it's the whole version just condensed into 8 weeks. And I know that sounds a little intimidating, and I don't want you to feel that way, so I'm trying to set you up for success. And by doing that, I want you to tell you to start out strong. And what that means is get on top of things right away. Don't wait until Sunday afternoon to do all your work for Sunday night because you will miss some deadlines. What I have done is because it's kind of a tight schedule, there is no coursework due over Thanksgiving break. I want to give you that one week in the middle of the course to just kind of relax and regroup. So go ahead and plan your Thanksgiving plans and don't worry about homework. There also is no case study or discussion topics during the final week of the class, because I know you're probably taking more than just this course, and everything seems to be due from every class on the same day at the end of the session. So I've purposely reduced the workload that you have during the final week. And another thing I want to tell you about is the best way to get a hold of me is through the messages feature within Blackboard. That's the fastest way that you're going to get a same-day response from me because I do not have an office on campus, and therefore I have to log in and get my email separately to my Miramar email address. So if you message me through Blackboard, I get an immediate notification that's sent to my regular email that tells me that you've sent me a question or a comment so I can get right back to you. Now the coursework, this might be a little small on the screen that you're viewing this video, but you can download this directly from the Start Here button or the Syllabus button within Blackboard. Now there will be 15 discussion posts, one for each chapter that we're going to be assigned this session. There's going to be 16 quizzes, which there are 15 for the 15 chapters we're reading, and 1 quiz after this particular video. And the quiz will be on the content that I'm discussing within this video. So please watch till the end. There will be 5 case studies, but don't get too concerned about that. They're only 1 page long, and I go into pretty much detail of exactly what I'm looking for, and it comes directly from the textbook. So if you think you're going to be stressed one particular week in which you have another course project due, you can always look ahead to see what case study is going to be assigned. So if you need to work ahead, you can. You just cannot submit anything before the week in which we're dealing with that topic. There is 1 written report at the end, but again, don't get yourself overwhelmed because it's a really cool report that you'll write based on personality profiles that you take within the course. And so it's a really interesting way to kind of get feedback on who you are, who you want to be, and which direction you want to take within changes you might want to implement in your career. And then there's the final exam. You can't get past that. There's going to be a final, but multiple choice, it's true, false, it comes directly from the textbook, so you should do really well. The other thing is I know that this is going to be really small if you're trying to look at it on your phone, but again, you can download this off the syllabus or the Start Here menu. And this is how the weeks all plan out. And this is exactly what's due, what chapters you need to be reading, what discussion topics you need to be working on, which case study from the textbook you'll need to write a paper on, and when the quizzes and the papers are due. So this is pretty self-explanatory. One note I want to show you is right past Thanksgiving week, you'll see in red it says no chapter 13. I had to pull out some chapter in order for us to be able to cover everything within 8 weeks. So chapter 13 is not due within this course. There will not be a discussion topic on it, and there will not be a quiz on it. And then you see when your final paper and your final exam is due. Discussion posts. I want to make it very clear exactly what's expected is that there are 2 topics each week. So for instance, the first week, there's going to be a topic discussion on chapter 1 and a topic discussion on chapter 2. The only exception is there is a week in which there are 3 chapters, but there is no case study that week, and you'll see that later on in the course. You're going to need to use information from the chapter. Unfortunately, sometimes students will simply provide their personal insights or agreement or disagreement, and they do not demonstrate or share information from the chapter. And I want you to be able to show us that you understand the topics within the chapter. I want to make sure you fully understand the content within the course. So it's important that even though you use your own words, you're still integrating things from the chapter. Every Tuesday by 11 p.m., you're going to need to share your first post. And what I mean by that is for chapter 1 and chapter 2, you have to at least have one post in which you share your insights and information from the chapter. Then by Thursdays, for instance, chapter 1 and chapter 2, for each one of those, you need to respond to at least 2 classmates' posts. So that means 4 posts in total, 2 for chapter 1, 2 for chapter 2. So every Tuesday and every Thursday. Please do not wait until Sunday to do your discussion post because you will have not met the deadlines. Case studies. There are 5 case studies. Again, they're only 1 page long, and don't get too concerned about them because I do provide you a sample template of how to format it and what I'm looking for. And you can find that under the Assignments tab in Blackboard. You have a 2 submission limit. You cannot resubmit your case study 5, 6, 7 times. But it will be going through Safe Assign, which is a way to view your similarities or maybe possible plagiarism. Maybe you accidentally quoted too much and didn't give an in-text citation, or you didn't put it in your own words enough. But you do have the opportunity to view your own report. So say you submit your case study the first time, it runs through Safe Assign, you see your report and you realize, oh, you know what, I forgot to put that in quotes, or I should have put that in my own words. You can make edits to your paper, and then you can resubmit. So make sure that you do that, you view your report, and all of that is due by Sunday by 11 p.m. So there are 5 case studies, the first 5 weeks of the course, and then there are no more. The quizzes, the exam, and the final paper. There's 1 quiz per chapter. It's pretty straightforward. It's 20 multiple choice questions, and it is 20 points in total. There's no time limit, but you can only take it once. It's due each Sunday by 11 p.m. There are no extensions, and when I say no extensions, that's for everything within this course. There are no extensions for quizzes, exams, papers, case studies, discussion posts, none. Because it gets a little overwhelming with as many students as I have in this class this session to start accommodating everyone. So I'm just going to do a blanket statement that there are no extensions. As I mentioned before, there's no chapter 13. And then the final paper, again, is really interesting because it's based on personal assessments that you take. So I think you're going to find it, that you're going to be grateful that you were able to participate in those personal assessments. Every student I've had before said that they were really glad to see kind of the evaluation that comes afterwards, and it's not my own evaluation. It's an evaluation that the assessment does for you. And then the final exam is multiple choice and true and false. So as an overall, I wanted to welcome you. I want to give you a little background on myself. I have a bachelor's in English. I'm certified to teach. I have an MBA in human resources. I'm a full-time writer. I do a lot of nonfiction books for businesses and people, and then I also do, most of my writing is creating online course curriculum for businesses, and I really enjoy doing that. Kind of my hobbies is hiking. Back in 2014, I did climb with a few of my friends. We did Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania, and it was a really interesting and exciting adventure. And I highly recommend it to anyone who's interested. And it's a once-in-a-lifetime kind of experience because I would likely never do it again. Not because it was difficult, because it's just once you do it, you're like, okay, now I can put that aside and have another big wish item. And on my spare time, I also volunteer at the San Diego Humane Society, and I work in the Behavior Center where we help behaviorally challenged dogs, cats, and kittens to become more socially friendly and adoptable, and it gives them a second chance at finding a great home. So what's going to happen now? The next step you should take after finishing watching this quiz, or this, this video, is to take the quiz about this video. It is required. And then go to the discussion post tab and introduce yourself, and that's also required. Share a little bit about yourselves, either where you are in your schooling, if you're planning to transfer, what your interests are as far as your career is concerned, anything you want to share with us. And then start reading chapters 1 and 2, and by Tuesday at 11 p.m., please post your discussion topics for chapter 1 and chapter 2. So again, I'm looking forward to meeting all of you. Please go ahead and take the quiz, introduce yourself, and let's start off with a bang so that you don't feel overwhelmed and you don't fall behind.